Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of For the Fans podcast, brought to you by the fans. Quarter season just happened, and I think everyone is kind of in agreement that no one knows what's really going on.
A lot of wild stuff going on, whether it's injuries or still some uncertainty with a couple of teams.
To
Still very much almost feels like it's for the taking for a lot of different groups, wouldn't you say?
I think the crazy thing is right now is that like a lot of people making their like preseason predictions are like, oh, this team's gonna be at the top, this team's gonna be at the bottom, these teams have the highest chance of going worst to first. But you look at the
Uh-huh.
standings right now and you're like, what the heck happened? For example, the Patriots are the worst team in their division right now. Who would have thought the Patriots would be in last place? Like,
There was actually some honest talk about it. I remember looking at something that said that they would actually end up having the worst offense
right. And then we
in
we
the
expected the
division.
AFC West to be like a very strong competitive team. The Broncos have looked kind of bad. The Raiders finally got their first win of the season.
Right.
The Browns and the Ravens and the Bengals are all tied for first in the AFC North, but that's a head scratcher. The
We talked about
Jaguars.
this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I was
Go.
gonna
No,
say
no, explain it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the Jaguars are now favorites to win the AFC South after being predicted to be the worst team in the AFC South.
Then you have the NFC West, where every single team is now 2-2,
The
and
NFC East
then
looks like the best or the best division in football right now.
I would agree, which is really weird to say, because yeah, really beyond that, the NFC South looks like garbage,
The
and the
Falcons
NFC
are
North
tied for first in the NFC South. The
exactly,
Falcons.
and yeah, and the NFC North, it's a thing of yeah, okay, the Packers and the Vikings are 3-1, but neither team is really good. It seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everybody's just looking at this every single week and it's like, this is a fun time to watch football because nobody knows who's truly good anymore.
And that's something we're going to be talking about too. We're going to try and piece that together as we create our own power rankings and our for the fun. But
Woo!
obviously, that's the last thing we talk about here in our podcast. We always go first with our little bit of news, which is our injury report. And boy, oh boy, do we have some doozies this
I think
week.
there's like 11 to 12 people on this injury report.
I mean, okay, let's get the big ones out of the way for the most common ones, which are those going into concussion protocol. You've got Isaiah McKenzie, who's in CP, Shaquille Leonard, which is unfortunate for him because he just barely came back from injury. You got Brian Hoyer, which means now Bailey Zapp is the starting QB for the Patriots. You got Tyrod Taylor, who took like a couple of snaps, and then when Daniel Jones got hurt, and then Daniel Jones had to come back in. And you've of course got Tua Tagovailoa, who's in concussion protocol because well, we all kind of saw what happened there.
Yeah, did you see the doctor talk about that?
I didn't see the doctor talk about it, but I
So
saw Mike McDaniel as a coach kind of like defending their procedures over and over
so
again.
so there's a famous doctor who like studies concussions. He had a whole movie where Will Smith played as him called Concussion or something. And
Okay.
from his professional opinion, he thinks that Tua should walk away from the game because those injuries sound and look bad enough that he could essentially lose his life to any further damage.
Oh, jeez.
So there's a professional doctor saying, "Hey, I love you, I respect you, I would love watching you play, but I think for your health it is best if you retired."
That's intense.
Yeah, it's very interesting right now to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll say.
But then we have our non-concussion injuries, which we got Javante Williams, who tore his ACL and is out for the season. We got Jonathan Taylor, who is day to day with an ankle injury. We got
Which we should mention he is going to be out for the game tomorrow against the Broncos.
Yep, and the Broncos are without Javante Williams for the whole season, so Melvin Gordon's gonna take over. You got Lewis Sign.
Yeah, he plays for the Saints.
Oh,
He
I
is a
just didn't know how to
safety.
pronounce his last name.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, and if that was probably the most gruesome injury from this week because he straight up broke his leg on
Hmm.
camera in a during a special teams. I think it was a punt.
Man,
it was bad. It was
seeing like the
bad.
leg and ankle slash foot injuries in the league, ooh, some of those are nasty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see who else is on here. Um,
Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones with an ankle. He's kind of to be determined of what he's gonna be. Darius Slay is day to day with an arm injury. Minka Fitzpatrick has a knee, so he's day to day, and Cordarrelle Patterson has a knee injury, and he is now on the IR.
Yep.
Wow, that was a lot of injuries.
For sure, and we'll have to see. I really hope this doesn't keep piling up. Some of these they're concussions, so they can come back. Potentially if they're cleared after protocol. A lot of these other ones, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully that ankle doesn't derail him too much because the Colts are in trouble. They need his help. You know what I mean? They need all the help they can get. Daniel Jones. Obviously, I know the Giants aren't. They're 3-1, and no one's really all that impressed by it, I should say. But at the same time, part of that is he is part of that formula, of course. And Darius Slay, part of that really strong Eagles defense that's around right now. And yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick, same thing.
Yeah, there were a couple of Eagles players that got injured this Sunday in that very rainy weather game against the Jaguars. So
Yeah, that happens.
yeah, water is never a good mixture when it comes to injuries.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
But speaking of injuries, and we were talking about Tua and everything earlier, Tua neurologist has been fired. So the third-party neurologist who evaluated Tua in the Dolphins vs Bills Week 3 matchup has been fired after it was clear that they had made several mistakes in the evaluation. And yeah, Tua, I hope he gets well soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That was rough to see.
I mean, it's not even just like rough to see just from this past week. It was more of just this past week looked like it re-aggravated the concussion he got the previous week where he
Yes.
could barely walk.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, like oh, I just feel bad for that man. I don't think that he should have played this last weekend. I'm
No,
worried.
absolutely not. And I mean, you look at the way, his hands seized up and everything
Ugh.
like that. You look at the potential, like, for the damage and the injury there that happened. It's scary. It's really, really scary. And, the best you can hope for is that, he does get better and maybe things aren't going to be that serious as we talked about earlier. But I don't know. I don't know.
I will say the one and only good thing coming out of Tua's injury is that the NFL is taking a look at their concussion protocol and re-evaluating it to keep players healthy. So there is a slight win in this, but it's not worth the cost that it was paid.
Yes, no, I would absolutely agree. Because I feel like had this already been fixed before, this wouldn't have happened for Tua Tagovailoa.
Right. Tago, whatever you want to say. Sorry, I've been watching the guy who's been making the shorts, and every time Tua comes on, it just changes his last name.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, Other news, we got a couple of retirees now. The boat has retired. So Blake Bortles, who was drafted in the first round of the 2014 draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who took the team to the AFC Championship in the 2017 year, has officially retired. And I saw a picture when they were announcing like the championship games of that season. The four
Mhm.
quarterbacks on that picture are Case Keenum, Nick Foles, Blake Bortles, and Tom Brady.
Yep, I remember this.
But honestly, I wish Blake Bortles was a better quarterback because he was just a fun, charismatic guy who was just a fun, loving person. Wish him the best
Oh,
in
and Blaine
retirement.
Gabbert wasn't?
Ugh, I don't like Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert wasn't only like not a good quarterback, he just wasn't a fun person.
Whoa there, mother. I'm just kidding.
He said funny things, don't get me wrong, but his personality off the field wasn't as exhilarating as the boat or Gardner Minshew.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Another very interesting personality is Cole Beasley, who announced his retirement today too. Um, I look back at his time. There's talk about when he was playing with the Bills and with the Cowboys. Impressive time for him because he wasn't really ever considered to be a top NFL player, and he ended up being one of those really, really good wide receivers. I know he caught a little bit of flack during the pandemic because he was one of those who was very much against vaccination. Um, but he was signed for the Buccaneers practice squad. Looked like maybe he was going to keep going, and he said after this week, he said, "Nope, we're done." And there you have it. There's a career.
Yep. Sad to see him go, but 11 years he had a good run.
For sure, for sure. Let's go into our wows and the woes. We're gonna do a couple of quick highlights. So I want to keep these not too long. I'll just read through them really quickly because I feel like it's a thing of we can talk about last week, but it's kind of a thing of it's here and there. Hopefully people can see the highlights, that sort of thing. We need to talk about what's coming up this next week.
Right.
But jumping into it here, some of our wows. We have the Seahawks and Lions game, which was really, really crazy because it ended up being a full-on shootout. Defenses weren't doing anything. It was really just the offenses who were just going back and forth. The final score was 48-45. Seahawks get the win. I remember I was just watching and I was just impressed by the final drive that the Lions tried to set. If they had won an onside kick, they could have potentially won that game.
The only thing I think I want to add to that is that the Lions are what? They are 1-3.
Yes,
They're
like the
1-3.
Offense.
They have the number one offense, but they have the worst defense in the league.
Yep. That's not happened in a long time where you have the highest scoring offense, but you have the 32nd ranked defense.
It's not very often, but in true Lions fashion, they have done it.
Only Lions. Only the Lions.
Only the Lions or the Browns, honestly.
Honestly, yet the two teams who have gone 0-16.
Anyways, the Bills fight back. So the Bills came back from being down 20-3 at one point in the game, and they clawed their way back, and with good defense, good kind of everything, they were able to beat Lamar Jackson and his Baltimore Ravens, who, I found out today, they are 2-2 as a team. They have only trailed in legal NFL game time by 13 seconds in all 4 games combined.
Really?
Yup.
Oh.
13 seconds. Remind you of the Bills-Chiefs playoff
13
game.
seconds is all it took to score a touchdown.
13 seconds apparently can cost you 2 games.
That seems to be one of those unlucky numbers. I mean, they already say 13 is an unlucky number, but that seems to be an unlucky number right now for a lot of different teams. Kind of like how 28-3 is just unlucky for the Falcons.
Oh, the poor Falcons.
But this one is interesting though, Shane, because at the same time too, you may or may not have seen the highlight from it, but Marcus Peters super angry with Coach John Harbaugh, and a lot of people were criticizing Harbaugh for I think it was either just for some of the decisions that he'd made in the game, and I almost wonder between that and Lamar Jackson and his pay situation, and that the Ravens are now 2-2. I wonder if there's going to be some issues there in the offseason for the Ravens if they don't pick things up.
Yeah, I think my thing is, I don't think Lamar's going to come back to the Ravens because they sent him a good amount of money as a contract offer before the start of the season, and he turned it down, and now he's having an MVP caliber season right now.
Right. It's kind of like over in the Major League Baseball right now. There's a lot of concerns whether the Yankees are going to keep Aaron Judge, and the dude just set the American League record for most home runs in a season.
With what, in the
52.
season? Yeah, I was going to say, didn't he just hit the 62 home run something?
Yep.
Man, look at me keeping up with other sports.
I'm so proud of you.
Hey, it doesn't happen often.
Anyway, another thing too that is going to get really, really obnoxious because we know Cowboys fans are going to be coming out of the woodwork again. But they're 3-1 now. Yeah, I get it. They played against the Commanders, before that the Giants, and especially with the Commanders, who are not good. They're still, now it's heating up because there's this QB controversy. Everyone's saying, oh, Cooper Rush could be the guy now. And Dak Prescott's teasing a potential return for this week. So, Shane, what do you think is going to happen there?
It's very interesting because technically, as a starter, Cooper Rush is undefeated.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yeah. So it's either Dak is going to come back and they're going to keep Cooper Rush as the backup, or they're gonna kind of evaluate to see where Dak is and how well his injury's progressing. And if he's not where they kind of want him to be, they'll probably keep Cooper Rush in another week.
I was gonna say, if you ask me, keep Cooper Rush in for week 5 and week 6, then bring Dak back in. That's just me, because then you can fully guarantee that he's gonna be back in the saddle, ready to go. And Cooper Rush is clearly handling things okay. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I agree completely. Like, no
Yeah.
cause for concern. Thing is Cooper Rush gonna get a big attempt at a trade towards the off season?
Uh, my gut reaction to that is no. I feel like he does his best work as a backup. You know what I mean? And I
Yep.
don't think anyone is fully ready to give him a starter's contract. I mean, the Commanders could because they're desperate, but
I
that's
mean, I
about
don't
it.
know. The Colts look like they could use one too.
Oh, the Colts too. Yep, you're right. Ah,
I'm sorry, but Matt Ryan is 37. His name's not Rodgers or Brady.
he's not that guy. They look almost worse with him than they did with Wentz.
Yeah.
It's bad. Maybe another now the Patriots don't have to worry about that. That's the one thing. We'll go into our last wow here because Bailey Zapp actually looked like he did not do a bad job. You know what I mean? Kind of running the offense in there because now Jones is out with his ankle sprain and Hoyer's in concussion protocol. Bailey Zapp kind of did a pretty decent job. I feel like as far as rookie QBs go.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
the Patriots went into overtime, and obviously the Packers are the better team between the Patriots and themselves, but the Packers had to win in overtime to do that. So I'm very curious to see how New England does under Zapp this game to see if, okay, well, is that just how it went against the Packers, or can Bailey Zapp actually be a decent QB? I'm curious to see.
I mean, to be fair, I don't want to spoil too much, but they are going against the worst defense in the league, but also the best offense in the league.
Right, which is what leads me to think that Zapp could actually look really, really good against the Lions. We'll just have to see how well Goff and his crew handle the New England defense. 'Cause I will admit, New England's defense is better than Seattle's.
Oof. Now, let's hit our woes, and this woe's gonna hit a little close to home for you, buddy.
Whoa,
The
dude.
return
Whoa.
of the double doink.
So it's really funny. My wife and I were actually watching this game because it was on in the morning. We kind of had a little bit of a rivalry about it because I picked the Vikings, she picked the Saints to win, and we ended up watching the end of this. And Will Lutz, I mean, Saints kicker, he kicked, he kicked to potentially tie the game, and we watched it happen. And my wife was like, "Oh, he missed," because she was upset about it. And I turned to her and I said, "Did he just double doink that?" And then because that's what it looked like. And then they replayed it, and I said he did, and I almost started sweating and like having PTSD to like back when Cody Parkey did it, and I
I
was
was
like,
gonna say
oh,
the
oh
spirit of
man,
Cody Parkey came into every single Bears fan that day.
oh my goodness, yeah, dude, I saw that and I said, oh no, it's back. And of course, it had to happen to give our rivals, the Vikings, a win.
Yeah, basically. And also, it's not that Will Lutz is a bad kicker either.
Oh no.
That was a long field goal. It was what, a 61-yard field goal attempt?
Yep.
Yeah, and Justin Tucker set the record at what, 64, 65?
66, I think, actually.
But thing is, it's like within 5 yards of the NFL record.
Yes, no, I understand. I'm not blaming Lutz. I don't think anyone is because, first of all, it was only to tie the game. Secondly, Lutz is known to be better than Parkey. It was not a playoff game, and I don't know. It's just not as infamous. You know what I mean? Because we talk about it. Probably
Right.
the most famous successful kicks are either of the Vinatieri kicks in the Super Bowl. But you're probably right that the most infamous kick right now in NFL history is the double doink. So
Oh, that double doink.
oh man, it still just lives on in my memory, and I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is how our season ends.
Speaking of
That's what I thought.
memory, this is one that my team and fans of my team will not soon forget. Oh boy. In rainy weather, which you think a Florida team will play well in rainy weather, The Jaguars were off to a hot start against the undefeated Eagles, starting off 14-0, and then they struggled with many turnovers. I believe quarterback Trevor Lawrence had 4 fumbles and an interception on the day. Even running back James Robinson also had a fumble, but it was recovered by the Jaguars. The other 5, not so lucky.
Uh-huh.
The Jaguars lost 29-21 to the undefeated Eagles, and honestly, you
They
don't.
probably could have won if they didn't have all the turnovers.
I was gonna say you don't win a game having 5 turnovers, but the fact that you lost by 1 possession with 5 turnovers, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I would agree.
Although I will say I want to fight the guy whoever makes the NFL rankings. He put them as number 13. They lost to the undefeated Eagles and he dropped them to number 20 in the power rankings. I'm like, they had 5 turnovers and still lost by 1 possession to an undefeated team, and you're dropping them 7 spots. Okay.
I had a feeling you'd be bitter about that.
I saw that and I'm like, okay, I mean, I've looked at the NFL. I've looked at his like many times, and I see other fans of other teams being like, "What the heck is this guy on?"
Okay. Also, here's another thing too. We're talking about like, having like bad memories and stuff like that. So, obviously we're going to be talking about Pittsburgh here. And, we bring on Mitchell Trubisky. That's another, like sour taste in mouth for Bears
Man,
fans.
your
But,
Bears have taken a beating this week.
oh, for sure. For sure. Because we lost our game too to the Giants.
It's like you lost your game, you got reminded of Cody
Didn't
Parkey, and then you see Mitchell Trubisky.
didn't even score a touchdown. Yeah. But we knew it was only going to be a matter of time before Trubisky got replaced. I feel like that was the case. I feel it was only a matter of time before they put Pickett in. Fans wanted it to happen. Tomlin tried to defend Trubisky, but we knew it wasn't going to happen with how poorly he performs. But the thing is Pickett came in that game and he threw for 2 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions. And I know Pickett's been named the starter now, but how do we feel about that? Because I feel like, really honestly, at this point, neither option is good.
I mean, we talked about in the preseason. I think we actually made the prediction that by week 4 or 5, Kenny Pickett would be the starter for the Steelers.
Which technically, if we did actually say that, I don't remember if we did, but if we did, we got it right.
Oh yeah, we 100% said by like the quarter season mark he would be taking over.
That does sound familiar.
We said 100% by halfway, but we were skeptical on the quarter season, but we decided to stick to it. The thing is, it's a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think a lot of people gotta remember. You don't normally see a rookie quarterback come in and just have fantastic games throughout the entire season.
True.
I'm trying to think of even like a few that came in as and started as a rookie that did good. What, Justin Herbert, he started off a little rocky, but then he quickly acclimated.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he was one of the better ones. Gardner Minshew went about even as a rookie starter until Foles came back from his injury.
And then it kind of threw everything off.
Yeah, that was a whole mess, but he did all right. Even with all of our second year quarterbacks, Lawrence, who was said to be like the next Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, he had a bad rookie season. Justin Fields had a bad rookie season. People that say that Matt Jones had a good rookie season, you're lying to yourselves. He was just a game manager, and the Patriots proved they could win by him throwing the ball 5 times. That means nothing to me.
Right.
Trey Lance, we didn't even really see play last season.
Yep.
And then Zach Wilson did not do good. Either.
Yeah.
Burrow,
yep, there you have it.
Yeah, I was like, Burrow, I think, even got injured his first season. Tua was...
Yeah, that was a big leg injury. Tua wasn't that great. It's true. So...
I'd say give him time. Give the rookies some time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the same thing with Bailey Zapp. But anyway, moving on here, we kind of already covered this one. This is kind of the last one, but we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. We kind of mentioned this. So it's just like, how long is he going to be out after that injury? We'll see what happens with a few weeks in concussion protocol, but I'm almost wondering if it might be longer.
I say at minimum they should probably keep him out 3 weeks.
Yep, I think you're right, and then reevaluate from that point.
Yep, But as for the Dolphins being successful without Tua, because we were talking how the Dolphins are one of the best teams in the league.
Right.
They lost to the Bills, and I think the main reason they lost to the Bills is because Tua went out towards the end of the game with an injury, and then they lost again this week with him going out again.
They did not lose to the Bills, though.
No, they
beat
lost
them.
to the Bengals.
Yeah, you were saying the Bills. That's why I was
Oh,
confused.
I was talking about week 3. That's my fault.
Yeah, gotcha.
But
All right. But yes, I get what you're saying.
yeah, but I was like, they were a good team until he started getting injured. So, do you think they can be successful without him, or do you think they kind of need him there to be as good as they were?
Ask me again after this game.
Sounds like a plan.
Moving into our Week 5 matchups, we got, of course, our Thursday Night Football matchup tomorrow between the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. It's our horses fight, if you will. And we both picked the Broncos to win. Originally, I had the Colts until Jonathan Taylor went out with his injury, and they were announced that he would not play. So, with that being said, we have it close. You said 27-21 Broncos. I say 26-21. Who's your matchup monster?
I think I'm gonna go with Judy. No,
Really?
no,
Okay.
not Judy. I'm gonna go with Sutton.
Okay. I'm hoping to see, and I don't even think I have him on. I think I have him on the bench for this week, but I would like to see Russell Wilson take another step forward.
I was gonna say maybe Melvin Gordon, but I don't know if I trust that fully yet. Also, I heard someone make the joke that not even Peyton Manning is excited to watch this primetime game, despite it being, the only 2 teams he ever played for. That's how bad this game is possibly going to be.
Oh man.
All right, next up, we got the New York Giants taking on the Green Bay Packers. My gosh, I'm tired of the Packers.
This is a London game too.
Yeah, after this game, every single football team will have played in London.
Really? That's
Yep.
Interesting.
And this is also the first time that 2 winning teams are going to be playing in London.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, who would have thought would have been the Giants, though?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and with that being said, we both picked the Packers to win. You said 24-17. I said 27-17. My biggest thing is I haven't been overly impressed with the Giants' defense. On this end, it hasn't been all that great, and really the offense has only been good because of Saquon Barkley, and everything else they're still trying to piece together. I would like to say that Saquon Barkley is my matchup monster here, but I picked the Packers to win. So I think I'm going to go actually with Aaron Jones. I'm going to say running back, but I'm going to go with Aaron Jones.
See, even though I have the Packers win, I'm going to say Saquon Barkley because, I feel like he's kind of playing almost every single position on that team now.
You're not wrong.
Like, he's wide receiver, he's quarterback, he's running back. Pretty soon they're going to put him on defense or put him on the offensive line. I really don't know what they're going to do with
him. One-man show.
Oh, basically.
Yeah. Okay, then we've got 2 not good teams, both 1 and 3. So one of them will at least get a win, and it'll be on the winning side. And that's, of course, the Lions and the Patriots. We both picked the Lions to win just because of their offensive abilities. We both said the Lions win 28-21. Matchup monster for this game. I know that there is some concern about whether he's actually going to be long-term effective. He had a great game against the Seahawks, but I'd like to see if it happens again. I'm going to go with T.J. Hawkinson.
Ooh, that's a goodie. I need to think real quick about this one because I remember that, most of the Lions' best players are not necessarily going to be playing right now.
Yes, I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift are both still out.
And I don't even think that DJ Chark has really done anything.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to agree with you on the Hawkinson one. I feel like that's a safe one.
DeAndre, they're both still listed as questionable. I guess I'm not entirely sure. They're not out. They're just questionable, so we'll see.
There's what, Jamal Williams, I think, is healthy right now.
And he actually had a really good game.
I could see him doing it, but I think I'm going to stick with TJ Hawkinson.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Then we have... You go. You say it. You do it. Go.
We got the LA Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns, and my goodness, I'm not excited for this game.
I think it could be interesting.
I think it could be interesting, but honestly, I'm just tired. I don't really like the Browns. I feel like the Browns are boring. Anyways, we both have the Chargers to win. I'm saying 34-21. You're saying 31-24. If
Mhm.
this man is healthy, I'm listing Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Who is your matchup monster?
Okay, so it's hard. On one end, I want to go quarterback, and I want to say, Justin Herbert is just going to ball out against the Browns. But on the other hand, I also am kind of looking on the defensive side about seeing what Khalil Mack can do, because I know Bosa's going to be out for a bit. But that's, I'm just going to go with Justin Herbert, because I feel safer on that pick.
I thought you were gonna go like Austin Eckler, who finally saw the end zone this past week.
For sure, there's a thought behind that, but also the Browns defense is better than the Texans defense when it comes to the run.
That's true.
Speaking of the Texans, the next game is the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Going with the Jaguars for the win here. You say 24-17. I say 28-20. Matchup monster for this game. Shane, I'm going to go with Christian Kirk.
I don't think that's a bad one, honestly.
My thing is I want to go with run defense, and I want to go with a running back because I know the Texans' run defense is so bad. But I feel like, and you and I have talked about this before, the Jaguars aren't really using ETN or Robinson.
Yeah, because Doug Peterson has said in multiple press conferences, you pass to score points and you run to win. I don't really understand what that means, considering that if we ran the ball, we could have won when we're up by like 14 or something. But I don't understand it. I'm not gonna ask. I'm gonna say James Robinson just because I'm a fan. Love that man. Hope he gets used effectively this week. The other one, I want to see Devin Lloyd get another interception.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I'm saying him specifically to get an interception.
Okay.
And I think we'll have time to do that with Davis Mill.
Yeah, yes, it's certainly possible. Speaking of which, little side tangent here. You think the Texans are going to get the #1 pick?
Here's my thing with the Texans. I don't think that they're bad. I think that they're just unlucky right now because you look at all the games that they've basically lost. For the most part, all of them have been fairly close so far.
So with that right now, I know this is reaching out there a bit, but who do you think is potentially in line for that #1 pick?
Ooh,
If you don't think it's the Texans, I'm going to propose another team. You let me know what you think.
Okay.
What about the Panthers?
See, I don't want to make the jump on the Panthers yet unless the Panthers front office is in full tank mode already, which if they are like,
they are.
If it is like confirmed that they are just purposely throwing games away, I feel like the NFL should punish them by some way, shape, or form. I honestly think I have two nominations if it's not the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
#1, I got the Commanders.
Yeah.
My #2 might surprise you a little bit.
Bears, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
That wouldn't surprise me. I got the Patriots.
Yep, that's possible.
I think the Patriots just have a harder schedule. Like I like the Bears and all, and I don't think that they're great, but I think they have an easier schedule compared to most.
That's true. That's a good point.
Anyways, let's talk about. Wow. Sorry, I looked at our list and I was just like, okay, let's talk about the Falcons versus the Buccaneers, which then came to my mind. The winner of this game decides who is the current front runner of the NFC South.
Right, and we're split on this one. You say the Falcons win 24-21, and I say the Bucs win 31-20. I'm going with the Buccaneers here because I feel like their defense is still good. It's just not good enough to hold back the Chiefs' offense. And Tom Brady knows how to get things done. And I feel like those two, I'll take those odds over the Falcons, who are just doing their best to plod along. With that being said, my matchup monster for this would be Mike Evans.
Yeah, I felt like you were going to say Mike Evans.
I just feel like, he does well, safe option.
Should I go with my safe option for my matchup monster or my risky balls to the wall option?
I like risky. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say Kyle Pitts.
Ooh. All
I'm
right.
I'm going to say Kyle Pitts is going to get at least one touchdown.
Hey, all right. I like it.
I don't think he scored a touchdown on U.S. soil yet, so I'm hoping.
No, I don't believe he has. Yep.
He's
Okay.
great to get yards, but touchdown is
Yep.
another story.
That's about it. Yep. Okay, then you got Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills. Obviously, you're both going with the Bills here. Pickett's first start against the number one defense. That's going to be rough, even with the injuries they've had. You say 43-10. I say 41-13. Matchup monster in this game. Um, who's the best lineman for the Bills right now?
Like offensive lineman or defensive lineman?
Defensive lineman.
Ooh, that's a good question. We don't look at defensive linemen too much.
We don't, but I feel like
Matt Milano had 11 tackles and 2 assists, and Jordan Poyer had 4 tackles, 2 assists, and 2 interceptions last week against the Ravens.
okay, I know who those names are, but I'm gonna go with an even bigger name, and that's Von Miller.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go with Von Miller as the matchup monster.
I thought you were gonna say someone like Tremaine Edmonds or something.
Nope.
I like the defensive pick, but I'm gonna go Devin Singletary.
Okay, all right.
I don't know why, just feel like it.
Okay, I like it. I wouldn't go with Tremaine Edmonds anyway. He's actually not practicing right now, so I think he might not be playing.
Boo. Well, that works out then.
Yep. And we got the Dolphins and the Jets. Now again, I almost regret saying, hey, ask me how the Dolphins are doing after this game because it's the Jets, but
Zach Wilson came back and proved he was something.
Yeah, it was the Steelers, so
he had a
we'll
receiving
see.
touchdown.
He did. Okay. With this one, you've got the Dolphins winning 21-20. I say they win 24-17. For my matchup monster here, I feel like even with Bridgewater being the quarterback, I still feel like Tyreek Hill is going to get something good out of this. So I'm going to go with Tyreek.
Yeah, I was going to say Tyreek. I'm benching Jalen Waddle. Tyreek was the go-to for Teddy Bridgewater.
Whereas Waddle was for Tua.
Yeah, Waddle was for Tua. Hill is for Teddy, and honestly, with Teddy throwing the ball, Waddle barely saw the target, so.
Yep, it's true. Okay, then we've got the Bears and the Vikings. We both picked the Vikings to win. You say 27-17. I say 24-14. I think the Bears' defense is not terrible, but they've got things to work on, and I feel like our secondary is just going to get burnt in coverage by Justin Jefferson. So I've got Jefferson as my matchup monster.
Ooh, going with Jets. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. You know, I kind of want to go on defense, but nobody on the Vikings defense really stands out to me. And I'm like, I don't want to do like a couple of these people. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. There's just nobody that I'm like loving looking at their roster.
Yep. Okay, with that, we got the Titans and the Commanders. We both picked the Titans to win. You say 21-17. I say 21-10. Matchup monster for this game. I feel like even though teams are starting to figure out Derrick Henry, I feel like it's the Commanders. He's gonna have a good game against them.
Okay, going with King Henry, I guess.
Well, we don't do that all that often. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's true. Even though he is like one of the best running backs, we really don't put him on this list very often.
Very true.
I think I'm gonna go with the weird one. I'm gonna go with Robert Woods.
Okay, on the receiving end.
Yeah, weird choice, but not many options.
Okay.
I remember when I thought Treylon Burks was going to be a great player for the Titans. He's going to be used, replace A.J. Brown. They do all this stuff, advertised, hey, this is our new A.J. Brown, then they don't use him at all.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, and we got the Seahawks and the Saints. You say the Seahawks win 24-21. I get that Geno Smith is doing well, but I'm going to go with the Saints, and I feel like the Saints actually have a good line. It's just they've been unlucky. Things haven't gone quite that well, and they're just finding the way that they need to fix and tune things up there. I feel like their matchup with the Seahawks is a good opportunity to do that. That being said, they're only going to barely escape with the win. I say 21-20. My matchup monster for this game is probably going to be Jarvis Landry.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I thought you would say like Chris Olave or something.
I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry.
I'm trying to decide. I'm like, how strong is the New Orleans Saints run defense? Do you think?
Um,
Not great, but I don't think that they're like horrible.
yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. They're not
I
horrible.
think I'm just gonna go running back. I'm gonna say Rashad Penny.
Okay, I like that.
All right.
Okay, then we have Eagles and Cardinals. We both picked the Eagles to win and to stay undefeated, which will be interesting. You've got them winning 27-21. I say 27-24. My matchup monster in this game is going to be Miles Sanders.
Oh, because of his big game last week.
Well, I feel like he can replicate that success, and I haven't been that impressed by the Arizona Cardinals defense, run defense specifically.
I'm gonna say Zach Ertz.
Okay. And I noticed here too, I accidentally skipped the 49ers and the Panthers
I
matchup.
was just about to jump into that one right when we finish this one.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. But we both have the Niners winning this one, and almost the same score too. You say 27-14. I say 24-17. Who's your matchup monster in this one?
I want to go with Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I'm not going to say no to that one. Yeah.
There is one other. I have one other for any fun people that want to take a risk.
Oh, if we're talking risks, I got a good one too.
Okay. I am
Okay.
gonna say Jeff Wilson Jr.
Okay, you're not going to be as risky as I
Oh no, I would never dream of that.
am. No, seriously, you're going to be surprised by this one. I am saying in this one that in this matchup, Jimmy Garoppolo has to go out for a little bit with an injury potentially, and
Oh,
Brock Purdy. Brock
oh,
Purdy comes in.
oh. Okay, yeah, I'm not that risky. I am not that risky. Dang. Okay, sorry. That one kind of broke me a little bit. Let's move on to them Cowboys and the LA Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions who have not looked like defending Super Bowl champions.
No, not at all. And with that being said, you've got the Rams winning 27-23, and I've got the Cowboys winning 31-20. I honestly have more faith in the Cowboys at this point to play well on both offense and defense. Whereas with the Rams, yeah, defense, sure, but offense, geez, I don't know.
I mean, their
Matchup
defense
monster,
hasn't even looked great so far.
no, it hasn't been that impressive. With that being said, my matchup monster, I'm going with CeeDee Lamb.
That's a goodie.
I'm gonna watch Jalen Ramsey get burnt up in coverage again.
I mean, I'm fine with that. Um, I feel like I'm going to kick myself for this one. I'm gonna say Cam Akers has a good comeback game.
Whoa! All right.
It was either him or A-Rob, and I didn't trust either of them.
That's a fair point.
Oh. Bengals and Ravens for the Sunday night primetime football matchup.
And where you disagree on this one again, same score, 24-23, but you say the Bengals, I say the Ravens. Um, my only reason for going with the Ravens is I feel like they still have things more figured out than the Bengals do. I feel like there's still going to be a little bit of trial and error there, and that will help the Ravens just barely stay ahead. Matchup monster for that game, he's doing it all right now. He's doing great, especially if you look at his fantasy points. I have to go with Lamar Jackson.
Oh, went with the quarterback. Even though I have the Bengals to win, I'm not gonna pick a Bengals player.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Mark Andrews.
Also a good one. Rashad Bateman could be a good one as well.
Yeah, I have him on my bench because he is questionable right now in fantasy.
Ah, I did not know that.
Yep,
All right.
that's the only reason he's on my bench right now.
Okay.
Last but certainly not least, we have our Monday primetime football game, the AFC West showdown between the Kansas City Chiefs and the 1-3 Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry, it's just kind of sad.
Yeah, because we know how this one's gonna go, and it's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, especially despite what the score looked between Chiefs and Buccaneers, the Chiefs kind of dominated the Buccaneers.
Yes,
It,
absolutely.
there was like almost zero stopping them. But who is your matchup monster?
Um, hmm. I haven't said his name in a while, and I feel like he's gonna do really well because it's against the Raiders. I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
Heck yeah! I'm not gonna go with Kelsey, but I think that's a great one. I miss hearing his name. I'm gonna go with CEH.
Okay,
I
so
want
we've been
I want
calling him out weekly,
CEH
but
to get 100 yards.
oh, okay,
He
all
got
right,
92 last week in the running game. I want him to break that.
all right. Okay. With that being said, that's the end of our matchups. Shane, let's very quickly go through our fantasy analysis here because we're almost at the top of the hour and our For the Fun takes a little bit of time. You just go just one for this right now. Pick a quarterback to play and a quarterback to bench.
Trevor Lawrence start.
Okay.
As for my bench, let me double check my notes right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna say quarterback to bench. I think I'm gonna go with Matt Ryan.
Yep. Probably a good one. Good one to bench. Running backs, good ones to play. Derrick Henry because they're going up against the Commanders. Another one probably good to play might be Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Bench bench wise,
Make sure to bench
um,
Jonathan Taylor if you have him. Make sure to
yep,
do it.
yep, it's a big one. Alvin Kamara as well, because I believe there's an injury there as well.
Bench. I'm trying to think. Bench Zeke.
Yep. Be careful with Joe Mixon, because I don't know. It's the Ravens defense. He might be okay.
Yeah, I was like Joe Mixon. I would say Joe Mixon's a good one to bench for like a higher up choice.
Yeah.
Um, bench ETN. I think that's kind of big. Most of the other running backs are kind of injured right now.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, start and bench.
Start. Hmm.
I say if he's healthy, make sure to wake up early on game day. Make sure he's healthy. Start Keenan Allen.
Yep.
I have been
For
burned
sure.
2 weeks in a row because I thought I benched him and I did not, and he was like, "We're questionable," and then he was out, and I'm like, man.
Ah, bummer. Brandon Ayuk, if he's gonna, if because the Panthers are not good defense wise. No, and I'm not just saying
Oh,
that because
start,
he's
start. I thought
AFC.
this was bench. I was like,
No, no, I'm saying play. I'm saying play for
play.
Brandon
Yep, I would
Ayuk.
agree.
Play him.
Bench.
Bench whatever
Ben-
Giants receiver you have.
bench Waddle.
Yep.
I'm putting Waddle on my bench.
Okay. And then for tight ends,
We
I
listed
don't
kind of the
know.
main ones: Travis Kelsey, Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Chargers tight end Gerald Everett has been very pleasant to have lately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I picked him up in a lot of my leagues, and he's doing solid right now.
Okay. I'd be careful with Kyle Pitts just because it's the Buccaneers defense, which is actually pretty good.
Yes, even though I have him my matchup monster, that's a risky one. I said he is a risk. If you want to
Yep.
take a risk, go for it. If you don't want to take a risk, bench him.
Yep. Okay, and that will conclude our fantasy portion. Let's move into our For the Fun, which is where we're creating our quarter season For the Fans power rankings. So, Shane, we've got to go through here and we basically got to create our list of 32 teams and where they're going to rank. So, how the way I think we should probably do this best is we'll kind of take turns as far as mulling over, okay, who goes up next on each list as far as each number, and then we can kind of discuss if we disagree and maybe someone else needs to be put up on there. Sound
All right.
good?
Sounds good. Who do you have as your number 1?
It has to be the Kansas City Chiefs right
Oh
now.
my goodness, I'm so glad I agree with you on this. I thought we were going to have to fight over this one.
No.
Oh my goodness, I was waiting for the fight. I'm like, you're going to say Eagles. I can feel it.
Nope. Yeah, I have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1.
I agree with you.
Yep. Who do you have for number 2?
Number 2 is where it starts to get a little tricky for me. You know, number 2, I think I'm going to have to go with the Buffalo Bills.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That one was easy. Now, I know they're the only undefeated team, but number 3 should be the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think I have to agree with you. I would disagree with you if certain players weren't injured right now.
Right.
Okay. 4.
This one might surprise you. I'm actually going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 4.
Oh.
And here's the reason why I'm doing that. They played the Chiefs. The Chiefs' offense is good. That defense usually plays better. And I still feel like the Buccaneers are going to be one of those top tier teams.
I don't think I can agree with you on Buccaneers, but I'm trying to figure out who I have as my number 4. I think the Buccaneers have a lot of issues to figure out.
I still feel like as we go through the list, though, they're better than a lot of the other ones going down the line.
I think I'm going to have to
what
say the Baltimore Ravens as my number 4.
Really, I do not have them up there that high.
Okay, are the Ravens in your top 10?
Yes, they are.
Okay, I don't have the Buccaneers in my top 10 at all.
Interesting. Okay.
So
And that's not because of Tom Brady bias, right?
that is not because of Tom Brady bias.
Okay. Well, I'll let you have this one, and we'll say it's the Ravens at number 4.
I will concede. I will give you the Buccaneers at 5.
Okay. All right, I'll take that. I have a lot of concerns about the Baltimore Ravens. I guess probably in the same respect that you do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is why I had the Ravens all the way down at number 8.
Right. My thing is, as I brought up the stat earlier, and this is the only reason I have them so high up, they've only trailed in games for a total of 13 seconds in the season so far.
That's true. So maybe it's more of an unlucky thing. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the reason
Yep.
I have them high, because I see them, they're good, they just don't get lucky, whereas the Buccaneers, I'm like, you guys have left me some question marks here and there.
That's fair. At number 6, and again, we'll have to see what happens here with the change in quarterback, but number 6, I have the Miami Dolphins.
I wish you didn't go them. Okay, so the Dolphins would have been my number 3 if Tua wasn't out. So I think I can do Dolphins here if Tua comes back.
Okay. Number 7, I say the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think I can dispute this one. I don't like it, but I don't think I can dispute it.
I know they're 3-1, and it's with a backup quarterback.
And that's why I can't argue. I'm like, it is with the backup quarterback. Is it really that Cooper Rush is that good of a backup, or is it just Cowboys are good?
Number 8, I say the Green Bay Packers.
I do not put the Packers up there yet.
Okay.
I have Packers outside of top 10. I have some teams outside of top 10.
Okay.
You may say this is bias, but despite what has happened, I'm gonna say the Chargers.
Yeah, I actually had the Chargers at number 9, so I'll take that.
Okay. I almost typed in San Diego Chargers. You can't blame me. My parents were diehard Charger fans.
No, I'm not.
Number 9.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I want to put the Packers at 9.
I think we have to, honestly.
I think we have to too, but I want to see the Packers step up because they are not in my top 10 because no matter what anybody tells me, they have not been playing good, clean football. They've been playing very dirty, ugly-looking football.
Yes, that's true. I would agree with that. At number 10, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville
Oh,
Jaguars.
thank goodness. I was like, I have my Jaguars at like number 8 roughly, but I am fine with this. I think the thing is, I think if their offense cleans up and not they don't have turnovers and run the ball a bit more, I think could be a top 7 team.
Yeah.
I think they're ahead of the Packers. I think the Packers, like I said, are just playing ugly football.
Okay. All right. Well, I can respect that. At number 11, hear me out here. I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know, I'm not upset with that.
Okay.
I'm not upset with that at all.
Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I have these two teams here who I feel like are better than the other ones that I have later down on the list, and I have to put them in this order because of their head-to-head matchup. I have the Los Angeles Rams at number 12, and I have the Arizona Cardinals at number 13.
Okay. 12 and 13, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Rams and Cardinals. My thing is with this. Do you think that both of those teams are better than the 49ers or the Vikings?
I think they're definitely better than the 49ers, and how the Vikings have been doing lately with inconsistencies with Kirk Cousins, barely getting away with a win against the Saints, barely getting away with a win against the Lions. Yes, I say that the Rams, even with their offensive woes, and the Cardinals with their defensive woes, apart from their game against the Panthers, yeah, I say they're better than the Vikings.
Tell you what. I'll 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 do Rams. I'm okay with the
Okay,
Rams Cardinals lineup, but let's throw the Vikings in the middle of the two.
deal.
Okay, that knocks off a good amount. So Los Angeles Rams. Man, I hate trying to spell team names. I'm just like, how do I spell the city again? And then the Arizona Cardinals. Now, you may laugh at my number 15,
Okay,
and I'm not even fully confident that I should be putting them up there right now.
okay.
I have the Detroit Lions.
I know they have the number one offense, but
That's
my
my thing. I'm
issue
like,
is
ugh.
the defense is what puts them down on the list. I would like to propose a different team that is in there that has a better record and honestly would probably be balling out if they had a different quarterback situation, and
I am
that is
open.
it's the Cleveland Browns.
You know, okay, okay. I'm willing to let the Lions slip, but I had them in this mid-range area.
Yeah, you know what? I could go with the Lions at number 16. I had them at number 22, but the way we put that and their potential there, as long as they haven't been so unlucky, I could put them at number 16.
Yeah, because honestly, like you look at their games and the amount of points they score is amazing. Their defense just needs to get in gear.
But with that being said, that means you need to put the New Orleans Saints at number 17 and you need to put the San Francisco 49ers at number 18, if that's the case.
I am dealing with this, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "What the heck are these two guys on?"
Yeah, probably, but we say the same thing about the NFL and CBS organizers as far as their polls and their rankings.
Cause see, for me, it's like hard. Like I can get like the top 10, and I can probably get the bottom 10. It's kind of in that middle. I start to get a little head
Yeah,
scratchy on.
right.
All right, so 18.
I was saying that's the Niners.
Yeah, I think Niners. I'll
Yeah.
agree with that. How did I misspell San Francisco?
Number 19 then has to be either the Tennessee Titans or the New York Giants.
I think I'm gonna go with Giants at 19.
Okay, then put the Titans at 20.
Titans, I need to see more of them.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
They've lost
Uh,
too many games they should have won.
right. With that being said, then number 21 should be the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh my goodness. I thought we were gonna put them at number 23.
Or number 28.
I am that mean of a person. I would put them at one of those.
Number 22. Okay, so I'm debating between the Raiders and the Seahawks, but I feel like the Raiders have just gotten off to a rough start. I'd like to put the Raiders at number 22.
I would put the Seahawks. I think the Raiders. There's too many question marks there right now.
Okay.
So let's do Seahawks and then we'll do Raiders.
Yeah, no, I'll concede to that.
Seattle Seahawks and Raiders. Okay.
Number 24, I would say the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I want the Broncos to be better, but for whatever reason, they just aren't clicking anywhere.
Yeah. Number 25, the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't know if I put the Colts up there just yet, but I'm trying to find.
Don't think there's really anyone else that you could put on there. Maybe one team, but I'm still not sure. I feel like I still need to see more from them.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. At least the Colts are feisty.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, Colts are at 25.
I say the Chicago Bears at number 26.
Was that
It
the
just
one
got
that you were saying is the question mark?
No, I was thinking the New York Jets, who I'd probably put at number 27. I just
Okay.
feel like I need to see more from the Jets. And I feel like the Bears can be good because they have a good defense and they have a good run game. They just
Your
cannot
offensive
figure out
line
the
is
field.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and that's making it difficult for Justin Fields.
Number 28, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers.
Okay, but number 27, you're going with the Jets?
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have Steelers higher if, their defense didn't get destroyed week 1.
No, I completely agree. But here's one thing I'd like to put in there, though. Maybe before I would actually put the Steelers at number 29. The only reason I say that is because I think the New England Patriots should be number 28 because they did beat the Steelers head to head and they do have more things figured out on their end than the Steelers have, I feel like. They're just trying to get into a rhythm and Mac Jones going down with an injury has not helped.
See, my argument is, and I'm willing to concede Patriots at 28. My argument is I feel like the Patriots are a candidate for number 1.
You did bring that up. No, I'll concede to that if that holds up too.
I will do the Patriots at number 29.
Yep. Which would leave me with our last three. I believe number 30 is the Washington Commanders.
You're gonna put the Texans as last place, aren't you?
Yep, and which means number 31 will be the Carolina Panthers.
I'm gonna flip you on that. I'll say Commanders at 20. I'll say Commanders at 30. But I want to flip Texans and Panthers.
Okay, all right. I just feel like with the Texans, I have to put them down there because you have to win a game. That's my thing.
My thing is, you gotta look at. Okay, so who did the Panthers win against? Let me double check.
It was the shoot. It was the Saints. It was the Saints.
It was the Saints, and it was kind of an ugly day, and I think that was the game that Jameis might have gotten hurt.
Yeah, that's true. It was.
So my reasoning is that the Texans. So we have the Panthers. They beat the Saints, but kind of Jameis got hurt during that time. Jameis should be coming back. We do have Jameis high on this list. But
you do present the point. The Texans tied with the Colts. They were close with the Chargers. They were close with the Bears. And I think they were close with the Broncos. So that is a good point.
Yep. The main one that stands out to me is that they were close to the Chargers, and the Chargers have been a good team.
For the most part.
Whereas the Panthers this season, they played the Browns. They barely lost to the Browns.
Yep.
The Giants, they lost to the Giants barely. They lost to the Cardinals. They beat the Saints. You know what? I think I have to agree with you. Looking at everything, I didn't look at this closely enough. Carolina Panthers at number 31, 32 Texans.
Yep. You just got to get wins. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter if it's close or not. Close doesn't count in football. You got to get a win.
And tying doesn't count either. It just
It
goes in the
doesn't.
column.
Yep. Okay, so as a review with that, we've got the Texans at 32, the Panthers at 31, the Commanders at 30, Patriots at 29, the Steelers at 28, the Jets at 27, the Bears at number 26, the Colts at 25, the Broncos at number 24, the Raiders at number 23, Seahawks at 22, the Falcons at 21, the Titans at number 20, the Giants at number 19, the 49ers at number 18, the Saints at number 17, the Lions at number 16, which is crazy. They're number 16. They've only won one game. The Browns at number 15, the Cardinals at 14, the Vikings at 13, the Rams at 12, the Bengals at 11, and our top 10 are at 10, the Jaguars, the Packers at 9, the Chargers at 8, the Cowboys at number 7, the Dolphins at number 6, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 5, the Baltimore Ravens at number 4, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles at number 3, the Buffalo Bills, who are still probably the big Super Bowl favorites, at number 2, and the dominant Kansas City Chiefs at number 1.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the list, it feels solid. I feel like a lot of questions we're going to get is, the Eagles are undefeated. Why do you have them at number 3?
There are still questions with the Eagles defense and whether they can actually ride this train out. Because I look at it and we've looked at the Eagles scores, right? The Commanders, not a viable team to measure success off, right?
They beat the Vikings, but it was Kirk Cousins in a primetime game. We know how that works out.
Exactly. The Lions only have one win that just leaves the Jaguars, who just happen to have a turnover problem. If they did not have the turnover problem, the Eagles would have lost. I have greater faith in the Chiefs and the Bills.
And the Lions lost to the Eagles week 1 by 3 points.
Exactly.
A 1-3 team almost beat the undefeated team week 1. So, and then the Chiefs, honestly, the AFC South just took the entire AFC West for a ride that week.
Yes, that's true, honestly. That was interesting.
That was very interesting. And then the Bills, honestly, I would put Bills at 1 if they weren't so banged up.
Yep, the injuries don't help them, that's for sure. If they can get healthy again, then there's no reason they wouldn't win the Super Bowl this year.
But that will conclude our For the Fun, which concludes this week's episode. Man.
Yeah, no, it's been a good one. I'm interested to see how some of these matchups shake out this week. And yeah, I think there's going to be definitely a lot more to talk about, especially if we're at the rate we're going right now. It's going to be more and more peculiar seeing how some of these matchups go and who ends up coming out on top with them, which leads us to, we're at the quarter season right now, and I know we've technically already passed it, but next week, since we're past the quarter season, we'll need to do our quarter season awards, Shane, as far as who we think is going to get those awards. So that'll be our For the Fun next week.
Whoop whoop. And as always, Broncos country, let's ride.
They're dead inside.
Hey, they're coming alive somewhat, minus, Javonte Williams, who is quite literally dead.
Yeah.
For the year.
Yep.
Anyways,
oh, man.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.